Here we go, here we go, here we go, yo.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo.
Hello, you beautiful nerds. Welcome to the Drunk Banthas podcast, where we talk about sci-fi, fantasy, horror, and all the popular art that we love. Also, we do it drunk. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Brother Bill. How you doing?
I'm doing quite well, my brother Alex. How are you?
I am doing swell.
And how are all of you doing? We got some special guests to join us today, as per usual these days.
Yeah, now we got special guests on the Drunk Banthas podcast. Yeah, like now that we're doing it live, guys, and you guys leave some special comments in the live chat if you feeling froggy. But let's just go ahead and introduce our panel because we got a lot of shit to talk about. We got producer V Timely straight out. Is he a clone? Is he a variant? Who knows? Welcome back to the show, man.
Hello, good guys. Great to be here. First time in the universe. I hear there's a lot of clones, but I'm not a clone.
Oh man,
hold on. I just want everybody to appreciate this right now because this hairdo is
wow. It took a while to grow. It's it's legit.
That is work.
That's my real hair. That's in the scalp and everything. You know,
that takes work right there.
You know, most people I know turning 36, their stuff's falling out. They're all gray. Look at this. I still got it.
You didn't have to talk about me like that. Like, damn.
I feel attacked.
So different.
And next up, do not let the light skin fool you. He is definitely family. We got Bill Randall up in the show. I mean, no, not Bill Randall. It's Bill Rando.
Bill Randa. Did you try to watch the show?
It's Jonathan Goodman.
Come on.
He's got, his future self will be played by John Goodman. That's all that really matters. How are you doing?
Yes. True.
Welcome back.
I'm good. It's good to be back, and it's very nice to see Terry again.
Oh man, the Victor Timely jokes never get old.
All right, I'm done. Done with the show.
I haven't even watched the show. That's the funny part. I just seen pictures of him as this. And was just like, as I was like playing with my hair, I was like, didn't Jonathan Majors look like some character? He was like Victor Timeson or some shit.
Victor Timeson.
Comic-Con.
Victor Timeson is fucking hilarious.
Victor Timeson.
Like, didn't Jonathan Majors play Booker T. Washington or something?
Yeah.
He goes to Comic-Con as Vincent Timeson, so he doesn't. We got Vincent Timeson here, so we don't have to worry about copyright infringement.
This is the copyright-free Victor.
Belongs to the House of Mouth, so we better be careful.
Today, we are actually not talking about Loki, surprisingly. But we got a great show. We're talking about Rick and Morty. We're talking about Invincible. We're talking about For All Mankind. And as always, we're talking shit. But we're going to start our conversation with Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, the Apple TV Plus show. Yeah, not that Monarch. It's very, very confusing. I'm not sure why they didn't put Godzilla in a Godzilla TV show title, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But this is continuing. This is a continuation of the Legendary Pictures. It's Legendary Pictures.
So yes, no, I'm joking. If this was the early 2000s, late 90s. I would have definitely told you, hell yeah, this is owned by Sony because they used to own every damn thing.
It's just because Sony has been like just going crazy with their Spider-Man movies without fucking Spider-Man. So a Godzilla theme thing without Godzilla.
We have
property, and we're gonna fucking put everything but the property in it.
Before you move on, Alex, I just want to acknowledge.
Which, by the way, we have another Sony not Spider-Man Spider movie coming out.
Yep, Madam fucking Web.
Oh my god!
You know what? Let's just talk about that for a second. Real quick thoughts. What do you think is going to be a good movie? Yes or no, Jeff? Yes or no?
It's complicated. All right, you know what? As the eternal optimist, no.
It's just a yes or no. No. Terry,
I answered no. I answered no.
No.
Yeah, right. No. Terry's a hard no. Alex, you're a no.
I'm a no, and I'm excited to see how bad it's gonna
Yep.
be.
About it. We will be talking about it live on this podcast, just so you know. It is a no from me as well. But Alex,
I
what are we
still haven't
talking
seen
about?
It's Morbin time.
It's Mormon time.
Oh yeah, you cannot make me ever see Golden Time. But this looks like it's gonna be like so bad it's
Slothzilla?
good. I'm excited about how bad it
Like
is.
Slothzilla.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like wait. Oh yeah, that's right. I still need to
Slothzilla.
see Slothzilla.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Slothzilla.
goddamn. But today we're talking about a different Zilla. We're talking about Monarch Legacy of Monsters, episodes 1 and 2, because they released the first 2 episodes on Friday. Now, are you guys like Jeff? We talked about this a little bit
Silly
earlier
Apple TV.
before the show started. You did watch one of the Godzilla movies from this franchise, right?
Yes. So okay. So
Oh,
like I
you-
was
that's
saying
okay,
before
you
we
watched
hopped on, the Kick-Ass Godzilla.
Why'd you do that to him, Alex?
Whatever the Kick-Ass Godzilla was, didn't I watched like the first 40 minutes and walked out because they're 40 minutes of a Godzilla movie. There's still no Godzilla, and I was drunk, so I was a no. Then after that, I watched Kong Skull Island, which I loved, and I watched whatever the Ken Watanabe Godzilla was, and I liked that one. But for some reason, Kong versus Godzilla, or however it's titled, it just didn't appeal to me, and I never checked it out. So
Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, I ain't seen none of these fucking movies. You know what I mean? I was like, every time I see one, I go, "You're not gonna trick me again, Hollywood. Fuck that." And hell no, I am not the one. You keep putting out these money grabs. You keep putting out all these like, just I already said it. Money grabs. I don't have a better word for it. Money grabs is a better word. So all I have to say is,
no, God. No, God, please, no! No!
that's how I go.
I will say I'm also not a fan of these movies. Or I'd never saw any of these movies before this show came out, except for Kong Skull Island, which I also really liked.
But I also say that I was wrong. I should have been watching these ridiculous ass movies.
Yeah,
You know, that was my initial reaction, but we watched the show and then we watched the movie, and I was like, man, a lot of this shit really makes sense for the movie. I mean, for the TV show, but the movies don't make no sense, which is just entertaining to watch.
Yeah, it's funny because they're in Kong Skull Island. There is a lot of shoe leather where they're just like doing a lot of world building that I didn't really care about when I was watching the movie.
Y'all. That's film talk for y'all that's watching.
But that I didn't really care about when I was watching the movie the first time. But now watching the show, I was like, okay, well, some of that shit does make sense. I guess I should have remembered who the fuck John Goodman was. And these movies kind of clean up at the box office. Like, this is one of the few franchises outside of Marvel that is making like $500 million.
Planet of the Apes. I would name that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes, Planet of the Apes.
For a weird film series that's just been doing well that I haven't watched. Like, I haven't watched.
You haven't seen
the
those
last
movies
Godzilla movie I saw was Shin Godzilla.
Okay, yeah. And it's weird how there's always Japanese Godzilla movie coming out
Godzilla
around the
and
time.
Then an American Godzilla coming
Yeah.
out. Now there's about to be another Japanese. Like, how are we doing? It seems a kind of racist when we do it. We can't be like out Godzillaing these people on their own Godzilla. Like, they made Godzilla because we nuked them, and this is like, if you keep nuking us, we're gonna have mutant monsters eventually. This is the horrors of nuclear war and stuff. And then we're like, fuck you, watch us make a better Godzilla.
We're like, yay, entertainment!
Broderick. My boy Matthew Broderick killed that Godzilla movie.
Oh, God.
Jared, did you see
Don't
any
care.
of these?
I was a child and I had all the toys from it.
Oh, yeah, I loved that movie when I was a kid.
Did you see any of these
as a kid,
movies,
it was
Terry?
great.
No, like I said,
none of them. I'm
Except
sorry.
for Shin Godzilla.
I was reading when you said it, and I missed that part. But
And you know what the interesting thing is?
What is that?
It's interesting that Terry brought up Planet of the Apes because both Godzilla and Planet of the Apes, as a kid, I fucking loved them. And as an adult, I think the nostalgia would pull me back in, but it didn't. And that was
no,
really surprising.
it doesn't. Because you know why? Because they use too much CGI, man. Like I like CGI. But when you need the practical effects, then they
Definitely
give you the
practical.
real
Yeah.
feel that ground you. And that's what I like about this show. This show, in my opinion, is more grounded than these movies. You know
For
what I mean?
sure.
And I don't know, y'all who've seen
Oh, yeah.
the movies and the shows, y'all let us know in the comment, just like Othelius has been letting us know. Like, what do y'all think? Did you feel like this show was more grounded? Do you like this show? I don't know, but I felt like this was more grounded and you get like more character building.
Yeah. And from what I've heard from the first, like the 2014 Godzilla movie, it is like they are trying to be more grounded. It's a lot more slow paced. But then it just kind of gets more wacky when we get to like fucking Godzilla and King Kong fighting on a cruise ship. The gentrification of Godzilla by Mr. Terry Timely.
Which
I love it.
Right. Not the variant.
But and you know, one of the things is, I mean, like, yeah, there is the Godzilla and King Kong fighting that's happening in this world, which, by the way, I still maintain, and while I haven't seen the movie, Godzilla's got nuclear fire breath that he can just like from 2-3 miles away just shoot at King Kong. Anyway, but
Yes.
there's, I mean, yeah, so some people are affected by Godzilla, by Kong, by stuff like that. But this is supposed to be an entire world of Titans. So it does make sense that like for every 2 people you have dealing with the big guys, you got 12 dealing with the smaller ones, you know?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, actually. It's but the movies don't make no sense. It's what you said makes sense.
This show,
but the
kind of
movies
like,
don't make no sense. I watched King Kong and motherfucking Godzilla fight yesterday, and I was just like, "What?"
It was honestly, it was
these
super
niggas
fun.
These niggas just stopped fighting. They killed millions of people. They killed millions of citizens. I can't even say citizens. They killed millions of citizens, and it was ridiculous. But
yeah, that is the weird thing about up against, especially after watching the first 2 episodes of this show and then watching Godzilla versus Kong. Is like, y'all just killed 500,000 people just like walking to the sea. Like,
like Jeff, since you said that you didn't like the Godzilla movie without seeing 40 minutes without Godzilla, what did you think about this movie? I mean, this TV show that's basically an adaptation, a continuation of those movies.
So, might not be
because you don't see no
smartest thing
Godzilla is what
on
I'm
my
trying to
end.
say for those who hadn't seen it.
But it took me a while to realize this was a Godzilla world thing. I definitely did not notice that the opening started on Skull Island until my second viewing, which, not gonna lie, a little embarrassing to admit, but what are you gonna do? Well, I will say, like, so the whole not seeing Godzilla thing, when I realized, like, oh, that's the world that we're in and everything, which you figure out pretty quick. I think you figure out when she gets off the plane, even. But so I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, so you're writing a Godzilla story, you're not even going to show Godzilla, but then they do show him in a flashback. So it's one of those things, or her, I guess, technically. But so I was actually happy about that. I was happy that it was, all right, we're clearly in a Godzilla world. We're going to show Godzilla, but Godzilla is not the point of this show. I thought they did it really well. I thought they brought in some other Titans really well. And like Bill was saying, I mean, I don't know if the claws going through the ship was practical effects, but the way it was done seemed more practical and more down to earth. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about Apple TV Plus is that they take a lot of time to make their shows. So the money goes a long way. You know, these special effects, they take the time to make it look as good as possible, as we've seen from other incredible shows that these guys do.
For All Mankind.
Like For All Mankind.
And Foundation, which you can see reviews for on the Drunk Banthas channel and Nerds at Night and 9 Nerd Yards.
Indeed. We're all over the place.
We're all over the place.
But this show takes place in 2015. It's 1 year after the Godzilla's emergence in San Francisco. Traumatized school teacher Kate Randa travels to Tokyo to settle the affairs of her missing father, Hiroshi. She discovers that he had a second wife and his son Kentaro in Japan. Now, what do you guys think of this, like, sort of this introduction to these characters? Like, these are the people we're going to be following for the show, and this is kind of our way into the conspiracy of Monarch. Bill, I'll let you go first. It's Jeff has
Jeff
disappeared.
has disappeared. That is awesome that I just did that right when I like. That is funny. Producer P, you keep on producing because you are killing it right now.
I mean, I could give you my opinion as someone who is now interested in the show and haven't watched
go
it.
ahead. Go ahead.
I'm interested in it. I do like even though I haven't watched these new movies, just watching the old movies and everything, I was always interested in like the other monsters. Most of the time, it's like, yeah, it's Godzilla. It's a big dragon. He's gonna like fight tanks and kick them over, but it's like, where's some real adversary? I want to see him fight somebody as big as him. So when you got all the Godzilla versus movies, I was like, this is even better. So like the fact that they're finally doing it and they're giving it a proper world building besides like, it's radiation, there's a monster, and an island and backstory about them being titans. I was like, this is kind of cool. I think I could get into this. Oh, look, there's a whole secret government company involved. There always is, but
there always is. There always is
somebody trying to make money off of this shit.
This show is kind of like it, like the Monarch is, I guess, the Agents of Shield of this universe. Like,
oh yeah,
like the weird.
And you would kind of hope that they had something like this. I always like wonder, like, man, these people get attacked by Godzilla so much. There has to be like some kind of company.
Exactly. Well, somebody's got to have their hand on the reins.
But like Terry was saying, I like this show for the same reason. Like Othelius mentioned it in the chat. Like the movies never really bothered him much. And he also mentioned that the movies, the Godzilla movies ain't supposed to be taken serious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they just ridiculous. They ridiculous.
Like really, most of especially the old Japanese ones, the only thing that they're showing you, they're making fun of the redundancy of Japan because half the movie is them filing paperwork about what to do about.
Exactly.
I was like, yeah, Japan be filing paperwork and kinds of shit.
So I definitely
they really have much of a story.
I definitely like this show for more of those reasons, like. Because I don't want my TV show to just be crazy action all the time. Like I want some action, but I need some character arc.
Yeah.
At some point in them Godzilla movies, I'm never gonna see these people again. Some of them gonna die. Like I don't care.
Right. And and where like I don't really give a shit about like Paperboy or 11 in the Godzilla movies. I do care. Paperboy.
I don't know about my Paperboy.
Yeah, you have to say that every time you say it. But
if you do,
I
never
do
say it alone.
But like, I think that this show is a good medium for actually giving a shit about these human characters, like Kate and her brother, and we get Kirstie Clemens in this, May Ole Hewitt, and they bring her into this like weird conspiracy.
Did you say that? Did you really know? You remember that, or did you read it?
No, of course I read it.
Okay, because I was like. I wasn't looking. I didn't see if you read it or not, but I was like, nigga.
As soon as I started pronouncing it, I was like, I should have just said Kirstie Clemens. I don't know how to pronounce this.
You don't know how to pronounce that.
But they kind of stumble upon these files that their dead father left behind. And this is their way into the whole Monarch conspiracy. But then we flash back.
My whole way into it, too. I ain't never seen none of this before.
And this is a nice way of introducing people who have never seen the movies or weren't paying attention when they watched Skull Island.
Right.
Because I would definitely in that second category.
Something that Marvel should probably learn how to do better.
Yeah, fair enough.
No.
Even though I did still feel a little lost in some of these moments, which I did feel like, man, am I missing something?
But I didn't feel any more lost than I would if I was watching any show for the first time.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like any first episode. Basically, we watched the pilot episode. You know what I mean? Like,
I want to ask you guys a question.
It was an intentional mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. But I am curious of what you guys thought about, since we're getting into the 1959 of it all, where we get to Baby Russell playing Bill Randa. No. That's Anders is playing Bill Randa.
It's Anders. I was like, oh my god.
Baby Russell is playing.
It's Anders and Captain America.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new old
Because
Kevin
he's
there.
like the one I haven't seen in a lot of stuff from Workaholics. And then when I saw the trailer from Monarch, I stopped it and told my friend, I was like, "Oh my god, that's fucking Anders! Our boy Anders finally got some work."
Yes,
yeah, and he's
man,
pretty
right?
good at this. Like, I can see him being like one of those cool character actors. Like, doing
He's
this
a
kind of
good
shit for a while.
actor. I mean, look, all those
Mhm.
guys are good actors. They're not those people in real life.
Mhm.
You know, they're not actually that ridiculous, so they should get more work.
yeah. Well,
He's
maybe
the
Adam,
only one
Adam
I haven't
or not
met.
Adam Driver.
Adam Devane.
Yeah.
I mean
Man.
Adam, no,
Well,
Adam Devine.
Adam
Adam
Devine
Devine
is
is
his
his
real
real
name.
name.
Adam Devine's real name.
I said Adam
Nah,
Devine.
Man.
I was Adam Devane. I was like Adam Devane.
I met him.
You
like,
corrected yourself incorrectly.
I was trying to correct myself,
Oh
but
god.
then I was like Adam Devine,
Well-
Devine Devine.
I met him, Blake, and Jillian at Comic-Con about like 3 years ago.
Oh, that's all
They
right.
came to a random party I was
Good.
at. They're nice too. They're
Oh,
super
just so
friendly.
y'all know, we'll be at
Did you smoke 'em up?
Comic-Con.
No, there was no smoking allowed in that place, and they were drinking.
Just so
Heavily.
y'all know,
Boring.
Los Angeles Comic Con or
Yeah,
San-
the LA Comic Con.
the LA Comic Con. We will be there. Come and say hi if you're gonna be there, or get you a fucking ticket and bring your ass out here and fucking say hi to us. We're gonna be interviewing people and doing little man on the street action. We're getting some good content, and we probably gonna sneak in because they ain't sent us our press passes yet.
Yeah, we applied for that shit. We hadn't heard back.
Hadn't heard back, so we're probably
but, you know,
sneaking in.
They be
If you
letting
see
people
us-
hang out outside. I see y'all.
No, if you see us inside, you know what went down. You already know.
But what did you guys think of the time jumpiness of the show,
Jeff.
going back and forth between the 2015 and 1959? Jeff, what did you think?
I liked it. God, I feel like a broken record. I just keep talking about how much I like this show. I thought it was very smooth how they did it. A lot of shows you can have it's just choppy, or other shows it's just like, why are we even doing this? We don't really need it. I felt like they were able to progress a single storyline very well within the two different time periods. I was very impressed by that. That's good writing.
That is good writing, and that's why you should watch that show Bodies on Netflix, boy. We're gonna cover that one day. One day everybody will have watched it, or at least this nigga will have watched it, and we can fucking talk about the show.
Yeah, that's a crazy show.
But they do a similar thing in that show where they do 3 different timelines: the future, the present, and the past. Which I'm into that. I'm into that. Now, watching the Godzilla movie that we watched yesterday, I'm confused about the timelines because the movie was supposed to take place in 2022.
Yeah,
but that's the San Francisco battle. But then
the San Francisco battle, the emergence of Godzilla is in 2014, and this show it takes place in 2015.
Right.
But then, I guess those other movies, like they take place after the events of this show. So we haven't gotten like the King of the Monsters
or
King
and
Kong.
That shit come after.
Yeah. Well, but the King Kong Skull Island, that was set in the 70s. But I think only those people in the movie knew who Kong were. Like it's not public knowledge that Kong exists.
Right. And then the movie.
Anybody confused yet? You guys watch it.
Look,
I'll tell you what, we're gonna have to do a separate video of just a timeline.
Yeah, right.
Right. But no, it actually kind of, I see why they did that. And like, because you've been doing these movies and they've been like set apart sometimes. And now you're trying to give the backstory of the company who's basically been behind it the whole time.
Right.
You're going to have to like start from the back and then be like, and between this movie, we're doing this. And that's a couple episodes. And
so,
I get it.
One thing about the time jumpy stuff that I didn't really care for is I didn't like the placement of some of the flashbacks. Like I don't know why we got the flashback of them, like where we see them where they've known each other for years or whatever. We assume that they've known each other for years, and then later we get the flashback intercut of like the first time of them meeting. I would have liked to see the first time they meet be the first scene.
Well, so I think the reason why though is because the first flashback or set of flashbacks, spoilers, ends with Kay dying. So it's like they are doing a
But-
flashback within the flashback.
See, now listen. Now I'm glad that you said that because I don't think that she died.
I don't think she died either.
Yeah, I don't think that she died.
You think she just got
because-
impregnated?
Well, Alex, you
think she's the-
go ahead.
the
You
new
explain why
Hive
she
Queen?
didn't die because it's our theory together.
Well,
we
I
came up
think
with
that
this
they.
together.
I forget exactly because it's been a minute since like we did watch it on Friday and we watched a bunch of shit since then. But I feel like there was something that they said in the present time in like 2015 that would have like she didn't have enough time to have a kid yet, right?
Right.
Like in this time, like she would have had to have a kid after.
And I
this.
believe in the Jeep when they're like we're in the fucking where Anders can't drive a stick. We find out Anders can't drive a stick. And
What a dumbass.
but when in that scene, they're talking about having a family one day,
right?
Not like taking care of the family or like having more kids. They talk about having kids.
Yeah.
So that insinuates that they haven't had them yet. And then so I'm gonna assume she doesn't die, but what's his name? Lee saves her because he's a motherfucking badass.
Joe shit.
He's gonna pull out some
and
Joe
because he wants to bone her.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, we can all
he's in
agree
love with
Captain
her.
America
He's
wants to
completely-
nail Anders' wife, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like you can
And
tell.
also he probably feels a little bit like I should be nailing his wife. Look at him. Look at me. Look, he's scared of the bugs. I'm scared of bugs. I'm killing bugs. So like,
Yeah, it was
also real quick. Sorry to interrupt. Ophelia,
No, you're
screw
good.
you for saying that. God damn it.
What
No, I'm
did
calling
he say?
Ophelia out for his most recent comment. Oh, I did not need that
And
today.
2015 was 8 years ago.
Mhm.
It'll be 9 years ago in about a month.
You know what? I like that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm so glad you said that, Ophelia. I mean, I know it sent chills down Jeff's spine, but me, I'm happy about that because I like every day that I get older because it means I ain't dead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, celebrate
I
every day.
Not like these people who be fucking in these type of movies, man. It just be crazy how many people they kill.
Yeah, there's god, there's so many.
I'm sorry, I might bring that up all throughout this podcast, like because it's still on my mind from yesterday. I just watched this shit yesterday for the first time.
And this show definitely, like this is.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
Sorry, I just want to ask real quick before we move on.
Mhm.
What character are you vibing with right now? And it's also a question from everybody in the chat. You know what I'm saying? What character are you vibing with right now? Jeff, what's your favorite character so far? Who are you vibing with?
Lee, because it's the two Russells, and I fucking love them.
The two Russells.
Yeah,
And I
get
like
both
that this
of
is
them.
the first time we've ever seen son play dad. Or dad play son, however you want to phrase that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because like what's his name? Wyatt Russell doesn't look like young Kurt Russell, but he definitely looks like he could be the young version of him in this show.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, he
It's
looks
weird.
like him enough, man. Look,
Yeah.
okay, look, this is always gonna keep going up. Bill said that like he got ops in the street. Look, I do got ops in these streets, okay? You still beefing with them motherfuckers from that Barbie movie fight. Okay, for those who don't know, I got into a Barbie movie fight. You want to fight about it? You know
Wait.
what I'm saying?
What do you
Hit
hear
me
their
up
whole
on Instagram.
A real one or one like the Kens did in the movie?
No,
Were
I
you
got
singing and dancing at people aggressively?
No, yeah, I got into a real fight. I don't know if you were here. I don't know if you were here
It's less
that
fun.
time that we did that.
If you want to hear the whole story, you have to go back and listen to every episode of the podcast just so you
It
can.
wasn't even on our
figure it
podcast.
out.
It was on Nerds at Night. So check it out.
Yeah, watch them both. But yeah, I think that you said it in the Josie and the Pussycats episode.
That's
too,
how
where we
you know.
talked about
That's how you know Othelius is
Um,
a real one. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know Othelius is a real one. He know what the fuck time it is.
Yeah, shout out to Othelio. So shout out to Morgan in the chat. Yeah, aging is really sad. But yeah, like in this episode, we do get like a weird side doors situation. Like I liked how when Wyatt Russell just kind of disappears, we get the emergence of Anders And like
that's
right when
the
they were really
next
starting to get
episode.
to know each other. Huh? What'd you say, Jeff?
Isn't that the next episode?
Oh, that is the next episode.
Isn't that
Yeah,
episode
well,
two?
we go to the second episode. Go to the
Yeah.
second episode.
Well, yeah,
we
yeah.
already really talked. Look, the nigga's dad died, and then goddamn blah blah blah. Go ahead.
Great
Well,
summation.
the-
But
Whoa. Supposedly died.
You know what? Ain't
We don't know if
nobody,
he's dead or not.
and we don't even know how he died.
Yeah, he
I like
probably-
that because
yeah.
this nigga
Mhm.
had 2 families. We can't trust him. Nothing has happened with this.
yeah,
nigga.
he is clearly a liar.
He got
and
2 kids,
mischievous.
2 families. He got 2 mamas, 2 wives, nigga, in 2 different countries.
Yeah,
That's too much. I would just tell you that
That's-
right now. He must be like a phenomenal genius or a pimp, or he neglected he neglected both families all the time. Because how can you give 2 families that are in 2 different countries the same amount of time? I
Yeah,
know
that's-
niggas who can't do it in 2 different states.
that's a lot of work. Yeah, I don't. But I would, and to answer your question, I think the Doc is my favorite character so far. Dr. Amura.
Mora.
Yeah,
Mora.
she's my,
My
favorite.
favorite
love.
character is the black girl, naturally.
Oh, Kirsten Clemens. Oh yeah, she's good. She's good.
Okay.
But yeah, then later on, yeah, the investigation continues with our 3 people
Starts
in
to get-
2015.
Starts to get hairy.
Starts to get a little hairy. They're starting to get chased by
Chafy.
the Monarch folk. But then they end up trying to
Almighty
they end up
Monarch.
finding Kurt Russell in the present day. Did they explain how they found him?
Yes. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm glad you just said that because they didn't say it, so you probably missed it because you were editing too. What happened is what happened. You know, check out the new video. What was it? Ahsoka versus Andor.
Oh yeah, that's dropping Wednesday.
That's dropping Wednesday. Alex was editing that, so he missed this part.
I wonder which one's going to come out on top.
You'll be very
You'll
surprised.
be
by
very
the answer.
surprised by the answer,
No,
sir.
you won't.
So yeah, when the son, I can't remember the nigga's name.
Me either.
Okay, so yeah, the son, when he finds out about his
Yeah.
dad dying and they open up the safe, he
Oh, yeah,
goes,
Kintaro.
he breaks his little work day routine and he goes to his dad's office again and he goes back in there and he starts trashing shit. Throws a temper tantrum, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, my dad died. You need to relax. I found out that my dad had a second family after my dad died. You know what I'm saying? I mean, before my dad died. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you are overreacting. You know what I'm saying?
He's
His
turning on
reaction,
Limp Bizkit like, give me something to break.
yeah, that was overreaction, dog. You out here breaking shit. You know what I'm saying? Breaking shit that's not yours, too. You know, that's disrespectful. A dead man's belongings. So anyway,
Not his
but
dad's
then it
anymore.
right, it is his. It does go to him in it's passed down to him. But you know, he opens up that he used the keys that the girl gave to him, the sister gave to him, and he opens up the file cabinet and he finds another Monarch file. And he then goes through it and he sees the only thing in there really was Lee's information. So that's Uncle Lee. You know what I'm saying? I got to keep up with Uncle Lee and what he's doing. And he looked at a lot of the receipts and everything, and he saw that he was locked up, well, not locked up, but being held at a retirement facility.
Yeah.
In
I also
quotation.
gotta say, what's with this family and being so surprised when keys work?
No, you know what?
Both
You know
Kate
what? I
and
was
Hikaru,
actually talking
when it
about
goes
that.
in, they're like,
No, I was working on something on that because I was telling Alex, it's crazy how everything in the world is almost everything has like a big difference when you go all around the country. I mean, all around the world, as Terry could tell you, because he has a lot of clones that goes all over the world. And you know, you got plug outlets that's different. You know what I'm saying? You got toilets that's different. You know what I'm saying? Like showers that's different.
Yeah.
But goddamn keys in a lock. A key in a lock is the same every motherfucking country you go to. Every country you go to got a key and a lock. Like, and I know that seems minuscule to people maybe watching right now, but I'm gonna tell you, if you can't take the same plug outlet to another country, then that means like that's minuscule too. You know what I'm saying? Like that's pretty fucking. I like that Jeff brought it up. He also noticed.
And don't sell yourself short. Don't sell yourself short. There's definitely somebody watching right now who's just like, whoa, you just blew my mind. That's so beautiful, man.
I hope so. I mean,
but it was
blue. That's how I feel.
It did feel kind of weird when the key went into the door and she reacted that way. But now, like looking back, maybe it's just like she felt sort of like, oh, something fucked up is about to happen. You know, like sometimes like you'll have a weird feeling and then you'll get a call and it's like terrible news from one of your family members.
And actually, it was true because now they got
one of those.
They got motherfucking agents running after him. So yes, actually, all of that was a like spider senses tingling shit. Yeah. That was right.
Just bad vibes.
So then they end up like some goofy ass white dude who is stuck down in the basement of Monarch's facilities.
Tim.
Yes, Tim. We found out later that his name is Tim. Timothy gets all but hurt because some files from the 70s, which he don't look old enough to really know about.
Yeah.
But there's some files from the 70s ping up on the World Wide Web, as a matter of fact. That's crazy. Just so y'all know, the government uses the web. But yeah, they ended up finding these files from the 70s that belong to, I guess I'm gonna have to assume Anders and John Goodman. I'm gonna have to assume they existed because John Goodman at the beginning of the first episode throws the bag
in the water,
into the water. You know what I'm saying?
The satchel. Aphelius, I think you mean to say. I think you mean to say the Keyspiracy.
It's a conspiracy. It's the conspiracy.
That's why he's on the show, ladies.
Man, look, next week
gems like that.
Next week I'm gonna have the goddamn X-Files music ready. I'm telling you.
But we should go ahead and wrap this convo because we've been talking about this for a while. But if you guys have any final thoughts about like these,
I have one more question.
Go ahead, shoot,
go
throw it.
I have a question to you three.
Okay.
Am I the only one that thinks that Captain America is actually Hiroshi's dad?
Ooh,
I don't know. I haven't watched it.
I think
you mean like backdoor Santa type shit. That's what you're talking about.
I think that is a very strong possibility. I think that is very.
That is a good look. You know what? Put that in the fucking comments. Like, let us know. All of y'all who are here, please let us know, and please leave a comment, man. You know what I mean? Leave a like because it'd be more people watching than it'd be likes. Now that's weird. You know what I mean? Like, leave a like if you're here, hang out with us. You're not forced to chat. Damn, leave a like, dog.
Unless you are watching it just like, I don't like this.
If you don't like what we're doing and you're not going to leave a like, at least tell us you don't like what we're doing before you leave.
Like, y'all niggas ain't shit. But what do you have any like final thoughts on these two episodes before we move on?
No sir. Okay. But what are we moving on?
We are moving on to For All Mankind season 4 episode 1 and 2. We're going to talk about this very briefly because there's been so many seasons of this show and with like so many I guess huge historical events, but basically just to give you guys
these comments be funny.
Oh yeah,
y'all Othelius is mainly the one killing it right now in the comments. Y'all, a lot of y'all be killing it, but you know what I'm saying, he's killing it right now. Excuse me.
Othelius is like basically a panel member at this
Alex,
point.
if I've never seen For All Mankind, can you explain to me what For All Mankind is?
I've never seen For All Mankind. Alex, can you really explain it?
It's very Man in the High Castle.
It's a very alternative history. It's created by Ronald D. Moore, who created Battlestar Galactica. It's basically what if the Russians made it to the moon before the Americans. And that it seems like a sort of minuscule thing to change about history, but because America was being run by petulant little shit at the time, he sees it as like a chance to be like this is like a technological dick measuring contest. So now he has to like outdo the other country. So it ends up being
Tricky
like
dick.
It's an interesting commentary on just like the perils of progression. It's like, oh, we get these great things, but is it because this guy's an asshole, he wants to move things forward, or is it genuine like imagination and exploration and passion for exploration that actually leads us to these things? But whatever the reason, we do that does accelerate technology incredibly.
Well,
we get things like cell phones.
The reason
in
is
the 80s.
The reason is
iPods.
Because it accelerates. So if America wins, this has always happened. When America wins at something, we just become complacent with it.
Right.
But when somebody else get it first, oh no, we gotta outdo them.
So
like we won't get that dog in us until
I mean-
until America loses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We didn't start letting
Jeff, you had a
NBA players play in the Olympics. It was always college players until the Russians started beating us in the Olympics. It's like, oh hell no! Yeah, that America will fall apart.
What was your question, Jeff?
It's no, it was just a comment. It's an extreme example, but look at World War II. World War II had some of the biggest, quickest innovation from America. Then we won, and then we kind of relaxed a bit, and then we had the space race because again, Russia was going after it, so we had to. America's got tiny dick syndrome, and we really take it on the rest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, and so that to answer your question, like I think that is exactly why that shit take place.
For sure, absolutely. And if you guys want just like a quick 7 minutes recap on what happened in the first 3 seasons of For All Mankind, you're in luck. I made a video. It's on the Drunk Banthas channel. You guys can check it out.
Just type in Drunk Banthas For All Mankind.
Yeah.
Actually, you might be able to type in For All Mankind and find it because nobody watches this.
What?
And it's
What's
actually
it on?
spoiled.
It's on Apple TV Plus.
Yep.
Apple TV Plus.
I just don't have Apple TV. Yeah, I need to do this whole 3-month thing because there's like a lot of shows. You
Start
guys
stealing
are
some
getting
shit.
out.
Well, I got
I mean, I do that, but there's like that's just too much stuff I'm taking. You know?
I got
Every week I got
I got a new iPhone and they just gave it to me for 3 months for free. So I'm just like, I'm about to boss out all these damn Apple TV Plus shows, and we're gonna cover them on the show because
right.
it's not a lot of shows out right now. So I'm just.
And they have a lot of really great sci-fi, which weirdly, and like
Right.
high concept sci-fi. Like with,
We need to break this down and go over it. But me and Nine were just watching Silo. We would We would get on here and watch Silo without going live with it. We were just watching it.
I love that.
He would bootleg the
First of all-
episode, and then we would just get on here and we'd watch it.
First of
together.
all, we all need to do that.
Allegedly, he would
We all
allegedly
need to
do
do
that.
Well, as long as you don't do it on YouTube, as long as you don't steal things that are on YouTube,
we do not
because
advocate
we do not
piracy.
advocate that because we love
On
YouTube.
because we're on.
Yeah, we love
don't
YouTube.
mess with
YouTube is
YouTube.
amazing.
Now, when I say Maine, I don't mean Maine or womaine. I mean it as mankind. Terrence Howard, one of the great quotes. of Terrence Howard. We all remember what he said there.
Yeah, don't Google
but this show takes place in 2003 after we've made it to Mars, and we wait, Apple about to clap, y'all. Yeah, right.
Sure
Like
is.
on the one hand, we're saying how great the shows are, but we're also saying like go steal their shit. So I don't know.
You know, we got to get it. Get it how you live. No news is bad news. Apple.
But just to give you an idea, like if you haven't seen the show or if you have, we're in 2003 and we're already on Mars, and we have a sustainable community there where we're mining for materials, and it's already gotten to the point where we have disgruntled employees.
Shock.
The whole series has started as like the pioneering of the exploration of space.
Yeah.
And much also like anything else, the capitalistic nature that takes over, and also the geopolitical, like geopolitics turn into international politics,
Yeah.
and excuse me, intergalactic.
Interplanetary.
Yeah.
You
No,
mean
not
in
full.
space they're still paying minimum wage?
Yes, man. Look,
You said intergalactic. You said interplanetary. I say
no.
intergalactic planetary. Beastie Boys.
yes, intergalactic planetary.
Uh,
That was it. That
Terry,
was it.
they're paying their employees less than minimum wage because they're not able to collect their bonuses now.
Yeah, it's so funny
Yes.
because like so this you
Do
brought
they
up a
get
good point.
tips?
They get some tips. Here's a tip. You
It's-
better fucking
it's-
take your ass out there and go
it's
to work.
just so- it's so very just like, well, you ever hear of the proletariat and bourgeoisie? You're gonna not have a good time up there soon, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's also like the army. They tell you you're gonna get all this stuff, you're gonna get that, and then you get there and they're like, "Oh yeah, that test you took, you were shit at it. You're gonna be a
Yeah.
private, and you're gonna clean toilets, and you're gonna fucking
Yeah.
actually, you know what? You might not even get to fight. You were really bad."
Well, it's funny because each one of these seasons, like there's always a lot of time jumps, but each season like typically stops on a big catastrophic event that sets the rest of the season into motion. And this show is where like they're trying to mine this huge asteroid for its materials, and that means a whole bunch of money and a whole bunch of jobs for everybody. Yeah. But then when
You
that
get a
goes,
job. You get a job.
but when that totally goes to shit, now
Because
it creates
space is
all the-
dangerous.
Because space is incredibly
Oh.
dangerous.
Also, let's
It's
just talk about
dangerous.
Hold on, no. You know what? Let me talk about this right now because this is real. This really bothered me. Their plan was to take an asteroid
Right.
that they discussed, that they were able to catch on the sensors that it had this fuel that they would be able to extract.
Mhm.
And their idea was to take the asteroid, the spinning, the asteroid be spinning, right? Because it's in space. For those of you who don't know,
This is a space
because apparently they didn't know. Because they they drill a drill bit
Mhm.
with a spaceship into an asteroid much larger than the
Mhm.
spaceship, mind you.
Right.
And then they try to wrap it with some cords.
They lasso that some bitch.
They lassoed that some bitch.
Yeah.
Dropped a little anchor into him, and yeah, I'm supposed to just ride on out with this motherfucker. Well, it turns out ventricular force operates the same in space.
Yeah, it turns out to be a really bad plan. And now there's this whole investigation of why it exactly went wrong, because I'm sure that they're all scientists. I'm sure that they did some kind of tests on this before they did this, but
yeah,
they still got to figure out why it all went wrong. But despite all that, that catastrophe, not only do they lose this big, quadrillion-dollar thing that was going to give everybody money, but it's also, it makes stocks prices go down. People lose their faith in NASA. The whole system might get shut down. They might take everybody from Mars. So, Jeff, did you like this whole idea of this story where it's we're getting into, I guess, it's almost like West Wing in space, where we're talking about the weird the politics.
To me, it's like the beginning of
things.
Battlestar Galactica prequel.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Or before things get whiz bang, where we start fighting aliens, is this is just the shitty parts of living in space.
Right.
So the start of the episode, so it started honestly pretty slowly, which is interesting because 2 people die real bad, and then
real bad,
and then the asteroid's just gone and all that. It's a catastrophe, and yet somehow still starts so fucking slowly. Which I'm guessing is just the vibe of the show, because that's what I was getting from season 1 too. But
it is.
It picks up. This guy that you think is just kind of he ends up being clearly a pretty important character. He's Joe, everybody. He's the guy that's just up there trying to do right by his family. And clearly he's getting fucked. He's the guy who I was like, yeah, that's class war starting right there. I mean, they're fucking him every way possible. He's there's one point where he says, they sent me all the way up here to make less than I would have on Earth. He's stuck at Mars for 2 years. And they're like, well, I mean, no, you're just fucked. And it's like, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
the politics are getting
sorry.
interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah,
No, you're good. I was saying it's the politics are the interesting part. Yeah.
and that's what I was piggybacking off of because I felt like that's why I
Yeah.
said that it was kind of like a Battlestar Galactica
West Wing in space.
prequel. Battlestar Galactica,
Mhm.
West Wing in space, because Star Trek gives us this glorious idea of what will be if we could only have space travel, and all of us would just hold hands around the world and unify under this one idea that we're not alone on this in this universe.
And you know what's funny is that if you really get into that's what Star Trek presents itself. But Star Trek's like in the year 2500 and beyond. If you read like how they got to where they are and then compare it to what we're doing, we're kind of like only 5 years ahead of them.
Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly.
Like the best part was in Deep Space Nine.
We got some.
When Cisco goes back to what the year 2020s, and he's visiting LA, and he's like, "There's slum cities. There's like these are everywhere." And I was like, "They sure are everywhere right now." So what happens next? We go to World War III. Well, that's about to happen in about a year or so.
Hey, there you go. Hey, we're living in the real times. You know,
We're giving it that
like
long.
50 years, we're gonna get space travel, and the way we're rolling, we might get it in 40
Hey,
years.
life imitates art. You're right.
We're getting a
3D
lot
printers
of
are getting pretty impressive.
I didn't know Othelius was a historian. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause he got these quotes. I'm going to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism, space. Turns out that's a Tim Curry.
And he's a very wise man.
I should have actually did my Tim Curry. Ha!
That's good enough. That is perfect. That's perfect.
You know, that's all you get. Nobody's paying for this.
Man, I just
Alex cutting that one off pretty quick.
No.
Look,
I just like it was just perfect. I just did what like
he didn't want me to
was-
mess it up.
It was incredible.
He knew that whatever was coming next was probably gonna fuck it up.
I flashed back to Muppet Treasure Island.
I'm messing with you.
But
Elon Musk definitely finna colonize a planet. Growth in the sea soil.
Well, you know why, right?
No, why?
I don't know what the book series is. I don't know what the book is, but there's some book where we've colonized Mars, and the title for president of Mars, instead of like President Clinton or President Trump, it's Elon. Trump, Elon
Jesus.
Clinton, Elon Gore. And so his mom named him after that. So shocking, he got a giant fucking ego.
Oh,
You know what? Me and Alex once met a guy that said he was Jesus Christ. His parents told him he was Jesus Christ. Remember that shit?
Oh yeah.
Fucking weird ass dude. But anyway.
On that note, before we move on to the next topic, I just was curious about how you guys felt about this scene between Ed and I forget Toby Kebbell's character, like the Southern guy, because it kind of just like sort of sums up this weird disconnect and seems like it's going to be the main conflict between the show or for this season is when Toby Kebbell is like completely fed up with the conditions of being a worker
Right.
on the Mars ship.
There.
So condescending. And
What-
then
Which,
he meets up with
what's old dude's name? Joel
Kinnaman.
Joel Kinnaman. Man, let me tell you
Joel
something. I love
Dickhead.
Joel Kinnaman.
Yeah.
I love him. Like, I mean, I'm talking
Great
about
flag.
in everything that he's in. You know what I'm saying? Like the breakout role to me for him was
Altered Carbon.
Suicide Squad?
Carbon. No, Altered Carbon came like 2 years before Suicide Squad, and it was just really, really fucking dope. It like showed that he's an action star. He's a dramatic actor. He's got the chops.
He's got
you know what I'm
range.
saying? Then he was in House of Cards. Then I was like, oh, okay. And I don't know which one was filmed first or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? That's how the order that came out in. And I was like, okay, like, oh, buddy is really, he could be anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can put him in anything.
He's got good range. He's tall.
he's tall. He's
white.
probably about
You can put
6
him
feet
in,
tall in
you can put him in a
Hollywood.
lot of stuff.
In Hollywood, he's probably about 6 feet, 6'2".
Yeah, right. Yeah,
6'2". He
he's
could
probably
not play
6 feet even.
basketball. When he says he's tall, he could not play basketball. He's just taller than Tom Cruise.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, he's
That's not
definitely
saying
been
much.
No, it is.
He's definitely been like a constant in the show. One of the few characters who's been there since the first season. And now he's an old ass man, and it's made him more cantankerous than he was in the beginning.
Exactly. No, he's not as cantankerous. I don't know what nigga bird is.
Falcon.
Yeah, it's Falcon. Yeah,
Falcon, buddy.
Okay. Yeah.
Mackie. Anthony Mackie.
You know what? I don't like Anthony Mackie. I'm so glad you said nigga bird. Look, Anthony Mackie, you see me in the streets. Look, I'm not trying to take no smoke. I'm just trying to say, I'm just calling it like I see him. You know what I'm saying? I go back in them hood movies when he was on. You know what I'm saying?
Othelia's newest quote's my favorite.
He's tall, he's white. Alex.
That's it. But what did you guys think about just this scene? Because Toby Kebbell, they had this great montage where you see how terrible the conditions are for the workers on this ship, and you also get to see how that's paralleled with how the astronauts and the engineers live on the ship,
which they live amazingly.
Yeah.
Which I'm not gonna say that's not.
They're at a resort.
To a certain degree, they should be getting like great amenities. Like, I'm not saying, like, if we are being fair, engineers and scientists and doctors and astronauts are doing the bulk of the work,
right?
And they are the ones that built this establishment. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've paved the way, if you will. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm just saying, hold on. I'm just saying, at the same time, you gotta be taking care of the people who are help building the rest of it, right? Like, they paving the way. Just because you pave the way, don't mean the people that coming behind you got to struggle the same way,
right? Because
even if you give them the pleasantries that you're receiving as well, it's still hard.
Yeah.
We've seen a nigga. I don't give a fuck what the amenities were.
Yeah.
A nigga died within the first 10 minutes of the fucking episode.
Yeah, it's
like, if I'm gonna die, nigga, give me some good food. Don't get, like, if I say meatloaf, make it like 3 loaves. You know what I'm saying? And then I've got the good sauce on top of it.
It's the interesting comparison of like manual labor versus like mental labor. It's like somebody who works in a ditch for 12 hours. Is he doing less work than a doctor? Just because they had to go to work.
No. This is different. This is different because we're talking about astronauts and we're talking about space. We're talking about every single time they go up. I'm just saying, every single time they go up, they could lose their life
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I'm just saying. So
but now we're in a situation where they're like, as they presented in that catastrophe. And then I'll let Jeff ask the question real quick. The catastrophe at the beginning where we have the astronaut die and the miner worker die. And they say the astronauts, and they say the astronaut's name
and they
on
just
the news,
say,
and they say,
boy,
and that other guy.
They say, "Oh boy,
yeah,
the old boy died."
But
go
Jeff,
ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead, Jeff.
So I'm gonna disagree with one of the things you said. You said that the astronauts and the engineers and all of them, they built the bulk of this. No, they built the beginning of it. Then they had the plans. Then they brought these random people up to build the bulk of it because they had more important jobs to do in their mind. So that's the issue is.
Well, no. The everything was constructed by NASA first and Helios working together.
But was it okay? But is it like the architect makes the plans, but then the blue collar guys are doing the actual
No, because everyone at NASA is either an engineer, a biochemist, or an astronaut. So then
that's what I'm asking you is
right. So you have just like on the moon in the previous seasons, they built up the moon. The astronauts built up the moon, and then we do a big time jump, and now they've got space as like you can
Okay.
go get you a house on
I forgot
moon. On the moon, you can have
Nice. Nice.
In the last 2 minutes when we're talking about the show.
you can have a space on the moon. You can have a condo in a rotating fucking spaceship.
Mhm. Yeah.
It got capitalized. And they showed us that, right? In this season, we're in that in-between point that we didn't see for the establishment of the moon, right? Like we're still in the building phase of getting to where we got thousands and thousands of people on Mars, but as I'm sure it was on the moon, it's taking a little longer to get there than you intended because of the situations that they have, like Ed mentioned,
because of the nature of the
so
world.
Danny comes up to take over because Kuz died,
right, and then she has
first Russian on the moon, and then Danny, the first American on the moon. On Mars, both of them first on Mars. She gets promoted to his position, and Ed tells her about all the problems that's going on. They ain't got no reception for the people on the bottom floors.
Right. Yeah, she's one of the few people who sees the whole.
They ain't got no TV. And
picture,
then she sees it without even talking to nobody.
But
right. So, but I'm just saying, but she's making a difference on there. So I feel like we're gonna see a progression go with this whole construction and colonization of this planet.
So I think what's going to happen this season is it's going to be a question of, can her efforts curb the tension between the less thans and the more thans, because the way they're setting it up, this seems like violent revolt. I mean, they're really fucking these people over, and it's just a question of, can she placate them and continue to get things to help them enough to keep them from, getting pushed just a little over the edge.
Yeah. She's gonna be the linchpin. Sometimes you just need a new general manager to turn things around.
A black general manager.
Hey, I mean, it doesn't hurt. But we're gonna move right along to Rick and Morty season 7, episode 4. This was a crazy episode, as they all are. I feel like I say that about every show that we talk about. It's like, this is a crazy episode.
Well, it's either crazy good, crazy bad, crazy boring, or I don't know what the fuck just happened.
It was a good version of a clip show.
Yeah,
the way they do clip shows, and to do a clip show with an animation is not technically really a clip show because it's always scenes we've never seen, but it's in that vein because they're talking about things that we should have seen or in the past. But with this, it's like we've never seen any of this shit. So it's a good clip show. While clip shows are usually fucking boring because it is shit that you've seen, this really isn't.
These are things, but to a certain degree, these are things that we kind of have seen because a lot of the things they use were from the intros that we've seen over the years.
That's what I picked up. I was like, were these some of the intros? A little more fleshed out.
It was, and I liked it because it was like I wondered what happened, but also if you're gonna show me, I don't need to know that much. Like, I don't really need a whole episode.
I don't need
And I think they did a similar trick in the Mind Parasite episodes, like from like the last, I think it was like the first season or whatever, where they use some scenes from the intro.
Well, they kind of do it every season. They use something from those episodes, but this is the one that we've like. This episode gave us the ones that we've never had an answer for, and which was really dope. It was kind of refreshing, and it gave the fans who hate the episodic episodes. It got back to what people would consider the nitty gritty,
right?
And it was sort of like continued the story because obviously Rick is still super depressed from what happened in the last episode, and he doesn't want to go on any adventures, but Morty decides he's going to pull out his Morty adventure cards. We all remember the Morty adventure cards,
except Jeff.
Except Rick. Rick forgot about the damn cards.
Oh yeah, Rick. To be fair,
to be fair,
He definitely got wasted, like blackout drunk, since he killed his
That does not
arch
sound like that.
nemesis and had to actually
Good man.
deal with the pain of losing his wife and his child. So now he's like just going through this depression mode, which I feel like we didn't spend that much time. Well, I don't feel like we didn't spend that much time on that at all in this episode. But I feel like for that reason, I feel like we're gonna be coming back to that in
Right.
some kind of space.
Yeah, I definitely think that that sadness is still there, but this was a nice way to just like sort of show that, okay, he's been dealing with this for weeks. We don't really need to see him dealing with that for weeks, but we can see him where he's sort of feeling better enough to like have this stupid argument with Morty. Because we do bring in, because like he suspects that Morty may have lied about the number of adventures that they've gone on, so he enlists the aid of an omniscient alien rock called the Observer to audit the adventure cards, and that's where we get this super crazy concept of a clip show where we get to see all these stupid adventures that they've gone on.
I loved
it. Yeah, Terry, what did you like?
First off, I was just gonna say, when you said the Observer, going back to Venture Brothers, my first thought was just ignore me.
Ignore me.
Oh my God, classic Venture Brothers episode right there. Mecha Shiva. Dude, I just said that last night while we were watching Godzilla. I was like, look at it. It's so fucking... I said, Alex, you know what time it is? He said, what? I said, Mecha Shiva.
That's not a word that you should say like every week, but somehow it is a word that we say all the time.
Seriously, I find a way to put it in my daily life. But yeah, Terry,
anyway,
how did you feel?
Anyway, sorry to interrupt. That's what that made me think of.
No, you're good. Anytime I get to say Mecha Shiva, it's a good day.
I enjoyed it. Like I said, it was that classic. I like both I like the mix of this show of the storyline adventures and of course the just regular one-off Rick and Morty adventures. And I especially like this one because it was a good tie-in of a lot of the intros that we never see really gone through fruition. And when they do these short little stories, I feel like the writing's a lot stronger because they only have to concentrate on so much, and they don't have to like try to overall make any of it all connect, because it's just like the connection is, it's just something that happened. That's the connection right there.
Yeah, they can just really focus on the comedy and just like the subversive nature of like whatever sci-fi trope that they're kicking the shit out of this week.
I love how they also haven't this show hasn't degraded at all since it's they've lost a lot of writers, just for y'all who don't know. They've lost a lot of writers on this show, and that usually makes the show worse. Any show, The Simpsons, Married with Children, Family Matters, whatever you want to.
Yeah, the people who write the show, they
Live in Color.
They give you the show its vibe. So
and especially the people who started writing the show. But no, you go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Yeah,
you got the notes.
Well,
I was about to wing it. Everybody, and I was like, nope.
But yeah, like during the whole audit, Rick hacks their. Oh no, sorry. Morty accidentally kills the Observer just because they end up getting. Yeah, I brought up the Observer. Observer's doing the audit. We got all the flashbacks, but they started getting annoyed with the Observer because
mostly his voice.
Yeah, mostly his voice. But yeah, they're also just not liking how the clip show vibe of how he wants to talk about.
Which did we get things? Anytime they'd bring up something, it's like, kind of like this time. It's like, no, bro, we're not.
Wait a minute, hold on. Yeah, now you getting personal.
Like, we're asking you about these one things. Like, stop getting off our list.
Did you guys feel like this was a dig at Family Guy? It was like, all right, man, you're getting a little too Family Guy now. Where you're just like,
it might have been, but I feel like, did we get an episode where? Well, first of all, this calls back to the episode that they did with the Mind Eraser episode.
Oh yeah. That's
Morty's Mind Blower.
Morty's Mind Blower.
Mind Blowers. That was a fucking good one. So yeah,
that was when they said we're not doing intergalactic TV this time. Let's do something. We're doing something different. I do miss intergalactic TV just because it was completely wackiness.
Right.
It was
insanity.
But they kind of, I like how they sprinkle it in. Like you'll just see them watching intergalactic TV,
right?
And then they'll go on to something else. Like so you remember like, oh yeah, we still do fucking crazy shit over here.
Yeah.
But
and I think that this might be the new intergalactic TV. Like now
right,
that we have Morty's Mind Blowers, like this is the new.
This is how they do
showy.
Or I wish they would like each season they think of a new way to do the clip show. I kind of like the innovation. I want to see.
I do. Yes, and we're gonna get.
Can I be bold here and say this might be my favorite season so far?
Okay. Talk about it.
I have really enjoyed every single episode on this.
It's like every season is my favorite season. I have I literally binge out on the live stream on Adult Swim and watch every. And Jeff, that is a great way to catch up. Is just watch the live stream that comes on Adult Swim, like just on the online
episode.
It's online or it's sometimes it's on YouTube. But
okay. I was gonna say like I have normal TV again.
No, it's on the internet, so you just watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, you feel less like a boomer when you're watching like a live stream on the internet rather than just like live television.
It's YouTube.
Yes.
Sorry, I say YouTube like every. I say it like 30 times in every episode. I have to hit a minute. I have
We're
to
on there.
union rules.
YouTube. Subscribe to YouTube.
But you see that like that space right there, like that's where that play button's gonna go.
Exactly
right there. Oh, he's got a.
I was talking about that the other day, like how everybody who's gotten their play button somehow every time they're on camera, that play button somehow in the fucking camera. It's always in the like Jeff would have his on the bookshelf.
We're not putting ours up. I'm gonna just let y'all know.
I was about to say, I don't think
fuck that.
Put up ours.
I'm putting mine.
I'm gonna wear mine like a necklace,
Yeah, I was thinking I was gonna like carry that thing around all the time and like its own little bag.
Y'all put it in the comments.
So y'all like and subscribers. We're at 18,900 yards. I was gonna pay for everybody's plaque too.
Yes,
this
is actually a good time to say that if you fucking with us right now, then you've been fucking with us way longer than someone who shouldn't be liking and subscribing. That means you love us if you right with us right now, and we love you too. So go to 9 Nerd Yards, Nerds at Night, and Drunk Banthas, wherever you're watching from. Give us some love, man. Give us some love because we love you.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate you guys. We literally would not be doing this without you because, like, who the fuck will we be talking to? Each other? I don't know. But before we move on to the next thing, the main event, as it were, I really have to ask you guys how you felt about Churi and this whole situation.
My God. Terry talked about it earlier. I'm going to let him go first.
Terry, please.
I am frightened of Churi, and I don't blame Churi. That's fucked up what he did. Like you just wanted a churro, and then you brought him to life and had this fun, and then you're just done with him, and then you took him on it. You couldn't be like, all right, Churi, part of life is to like move out from your friends and go live on your own and go do your own thing, and he would have had a pretty cool life then. You didn't have to you had to give him a fake ass family and put him on a desert, bro. You kind of deserve whatever Churi's about to give you,
dude. And he could have gave Churi we could make more Churi.
You could have made more Churis. You could have gave him a village or something, but
get him a tree house or something. God damn, leave him on a different planet.
It's so evident, all of it, the beginning and the end of Churi's relationship with Morty is so evident of just a 10-year-old or however old Morty is supposed to be, and how they just I love churros. Oh, you're my best friend. I want to make you real. And the irresponsibility of wanting to have any follow-up on that, and also having an alcoholic genius grandfather who's like, yeah, I don't give a shit. Yeah, let's put him on a fucking
Make him
planet
real.
by himself. Like, it's terrible.
I was like,
what
kill him. I can't kill him. It's just, I had to make him practically immortal. What the fuck?
I agree with Terry, man. Like, we should all be very afraid of Churi.
That's how you're gonna make season 8 good for me.
See, I don't even see Terry.
If you make we might see come back for season 8, I'm gonna be so hyped.
I think we might see Churi before we get done with this season. Like, I think we might.
I don't want to. I want Churi to marinate in the back of my head.
I feel that.
If anything, I'd like to see like another like clue written in brown sugar. That Churi's coming for him. Like, that's the only thing I would need for the end of the season.
By the way, we live in Los Angeles, and I love a good motherfucking churro. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh my gosh!
If a churro was my friend, I would never want a churro to be alive, because that nigga.
No, I'm going to eat you.
I'm going to
right.
eat him.
Yeah, that's
and
what
I just want to point out that this is some goddamn amazing shit right here. I need to put this in. We need to put this in the Discord. 9 nerds cinematic universe. Wish I'd have thought of it first.
I'm trying to see how many episodes of Rick and Morty season 7 there are, because I felt like there was only like
it's usually 10 episodes every season. I think it's always been 10 episodes every season. Sometimes they've taken a break during the holidays and then they'll come back. So, but sometimes they have a secret episode that comes out 3 months before the season starts. Like, you never really know with them, and I like that part. How many episodes is it?
Google's being stupid. It said fucking 4. I was like, no, that's how many episodes have come out. I'm not asking any more questions, Google. I just need to. I'm running a show right now. But do you guys have any final thoughts on this episode before we move on to the main event?
Well,
you said this is season 7?
10.
Season
it's 10
7,
episodes.
Yeah. Oh, it's 10 episodes? Thank you.
10.
Dude,
just go to IMDb.
Oh my god, the name of the next episode. This is gonna be such a good episode.
What's the name of the next one?
Rise of the Number Cons, the movie.
Rise of the Number Cons, the movie?
Yeah.
I can't
remember the Number Cons and everything, and water tea.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
That's what we're getting ice. I forgot we're getting ice because that was in the trailer.
Water tea back.
That was in the trailer, so that's gonna be the great fucking episode.
That's what I'm saying. This season is so good. We're getting such good callbacks, such good new stuff. Man, I'm sorry Justin Roiland had to be kicked off. He shouldn't have done any of that dumb shit. Hollywood can take your mind and fuck you up and get you into some.
Hey, but look, sometimes it takes insane people to give great art.
Sometimes it does,
right?
You know what I mean? We had R. Kelly, we had Bill Cosby. We had what's his name?
You're going there. You're not going. What's his face? Cutting his ear off.
There you go. There you go. I was going back. I was going to say Polanski. I was going to say Polanski, and then I was going to go to Van Gogh. I was going to go to what's his name? Edgar Allan Poe. All these Gandhi. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these motherfuckers.
All the greats.
All the greats. Look, they all did good shit that you had to learn in high school.
We'll move on to Invincible season 2, season 3.
So Invincible.
Season 2, episode 3.
The thing everybody's here for.
This missive, this machination. This was a really great episode.
Oh man, you're not supposed to do that.
That was the name of the episode.
But you supposed to let me know when you was gonna do it, because then I was gonna do the dysfunction and the.
That's not what we
didn't
talked
talk about this.
We really did not. But yeah, this is a crazy episode. It was kind of a 2-half episode where it's like we get one half of an Alan the Alien episode, one half of an Invincible episode. Jeff, what did you think? Like, initial thoughts on this episode of Invincible?
Well, broken record again. I loved it. I like the show in general. I've been having a good time with it. I think they did a good job in this episode. I thought it was really funny how they split the 2 episodes, because I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait, what the? How is it over already? And then I was like, oh, because it's not. I was just not paying attention. Gotcha. Okay.
Yes, no, it
and
did feel like it was like a whole episode, and then it ended. Yeah, no, but
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
didn't
continue.
they have like fake credits?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah,
okay,
oh,
so
yeah. It was a whole different
I thought
episode. You had a whole different crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. Oh, and just, shout out to Athelius. I just want to say real quick, didn't expect Mr. Peanut Butter and Optimus Prime to make a guest appearance. Paul F. Tompkins and God, why can't I think of his name? Peter, no, not Peter Sellers. Is it Peter Sellers? The name
Qui-Gon
of
Jinn.
Optimus Prime?
Qui-Gon Jinn. What'd you say?
the voice actor.
Is that not who
Optimus
voices
Prime.
him?
No.
No.
It's not. No. I don't know. Qui-Gon Jinn is
I'm just being a dick.
yeah.
I just thought it was hilarious. Is all.
I'm well aware.
But yeah, like Terry, what did you think of this this episode of Invincible?
It was good. I like the little beginning parts
Mhm.
of them, they're moving into college. I was like, wow, this is a weird time skip. I thought maybe they'd do some more stuff about his summer, in an episode, but they just straight up just skipped all his summer adventures and he's in college. So I was like, okay, well, I guess we didn't really need to see it. I guess it was just, some fucking filler ass shit. Yeah, I like the Alan the Alien. Because I was curious to know more about that guy. So figuring out about him and his backstory and like seeing that there are, a Viltrumite type resistance. So I was wondering where he came from. I was like, I remember seeing like his orange looking people in some of the scenes where they were talking about how the Viltrumites were conquering people. I was like, oh yeah, and they conquered his people, huh? Conquered his
God, they ass.
Sure did.
But yeah, seeing them, it was very weird hearing Optimus Prime's voice that whole time, not coming from a hulking big ass machine. It just didn't work for me. I have to say, it just was not working.
To kind of threw you off.
Yeah, it threw me off every time he was talking to him.
I don't know if I can do I'm usually doing the impersonations.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do a goddamn Megatron.
This is hard. Yeah. It's tough.
Autobots.
Gotta be the most specific typecast ever. That's pretty good.
Yeah. No. And actually, I just want to say this. As a voice actor, I'm a voice actor now. So as a voice actor, I want to say I want to say I appreciated him. Is it so? Yeah. Is this right? Peter Cullen?
I think that's right.
Yeah, it is. I just looked.
Okay, look,
Thank you,
Othelius, you got it, man. You got it. You know what? Othelius, you got to follow us on Instagram and send me a DM, and I'll send you a t-shirt. You dig? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. You be giving too many good comments for us to not give you a
it's
t-shirt.
Not that complicated.
That's all you gotta do, dog.
He was like, nah, I don't want that.
And I was just like Jeff. I was also confused about.
Look. Nah, he said bet. So he's with it. He's with it.
But yeah, what did you think of like just this first half of the show where we get the Alan the Alien show? Oh, we get a little intercut back and forth.
Yeah,
at the beginning.
We definitely are fans of the comic.
Yeah,
and so just so y'all know, if you're a fan of the comic, please don't put a spoiler in here. You know what I mean?
We'll try not to, but yeah,
because we're trying very hard not to. We give our little
Doing our
theories
best.
about what will happen next, but we don't try to spoil nothing here. But I like where they're going since they sped up the timeline a little bit. I feel like in this episode they slowed it back down. They had to ramp it back down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kind of like how they do our internet connection. They throttle it, they throttle it up and down. And so I felt like I like where it's going now because I was thinking, man, we need to get to him meeting back with his dad with Omni-Man because
that threw me for a shock that we met up with him so quickly though.
It didn't throw me off because because we feel like they're getting to the Invincible Wars, and I ain't gonna say too much about that, but I feel like they get to the point where we think they're going with the end of this season. They're gonna have to speed a couple of things up, but this episode ramped things down, so I don't know, maybe they're not going in that direction. But at the same time, they jumped to this storyline, which is a big jump in the comics.
Can someone please help my girl
jump.
Debbie?
That's
a good point. Let's talk about Debbie for a little bit.
Can we talk about Debbie? Because her son just left. He's in college. Her man's gone.
Ain't nobody giving Debbie no love.
She didn't know. and the one girl, the red rush. His wife, she's nice enough. She needs to really try to rekindle that friendship up. Because Olga. Because Olga was trying to help. She needs to really call Olga up again.
Yeah.
But Olga found a support group, for superhero spouses that for Soups has died. I guess that's a thing. I guess that would be a thing.
Right.
They had their own version in The Boys.
Superhero.
In The Boys, they had one, and they also had one in the MCU after the snap. Avengers.
Oh, that's right.
So but can you imagine, the first person to reach out to you, it's like the Green Ghost's husband. I think he was kind of too much of a dick to her. That was way too much dickish, bro.
Well,
come on.
It's just like trauma runs deep, and everybody mourns differently, and even in the same sense, like you said, like Olga, who was dating the Red Rush, she loved Red Rush, but she still loves Debbie, and she was is there for her as support. But somebody else who died in the Guardians of the Globe, who doesn't know her like that, is like, I don't fucking know you, and I don't love you, so fuck you and your husband.
Well,
hold on,
but it's just like,
and
that has to be bad too. Like, you can't feel any kind of empathy for her. She also found out her husband was a crazy murdering, psychopath. Like, she could have died. I was like, bro, I could have died too. Like, damn, bro.
Yeah, you cannot be smoking while watching. While watching, I just want to tell Othelio, you can't be smoking while watching. You look. Debbie should have just slapped him. She shouldn't have said nothing about no. Remember, old buddy said, "I'm not a pet." She's not a pet.
Yeah,
she should have just slapped that.
Right.
She shouldn't even. She shouldn't even asked. She shouldn't. Well, excuse me. She shouldn't have made a comment.
Right.
She should have slapped the shit out of him. And can somebody explain to me who Mr. Peanut is?
Mr. Peanut Butter. That's Peanut Butter. That's Paul F. Tompkins. He's the narrator for the Alan the Alien sequence.
Okay.
He's incredible.
Okay.
Who's that?
I'm off.
Yeah, like just to speak to Athelius's comment, it was pretty great when the sex scene started. Mr. Peanut Butter was like, "Oh, tentacles! Oh dear."
Apparently, that happens in the comic books where they're like, "Oh, we need to give them a little personal space."
And I feel like it's one of the many things that I feel like plays better in the show than the comic book. Like, I get what they're trying to do in the comic book, but there's something about the way you read it that doesn't play as well as the way it plays out.
It's the same kind of, it's my voice.
Yeah.
And me imagining it. Now I'm breaking my own fourth wall.
Right.
Yeah, and even the Debbie stuff, I feel like they've done a lot better at this time around telling the story. Now I feel like Joe Budden. Time around when they're telling the story.
You gotta grab you gotta grab the neck of the you gotta grab like this to do the Joe Budden. I don't know if anybody watches the Joe Budden podcast, but what I like to do is I like to sometimes get my mic straight. I'm gonna be in my bag today.
But yeah, like I I completely now I'm gonna only think about Joe Budden. Somebody else say something about Invincible. What did you guys think about Mark and Seance Dog? And this whole sequence where he sees Seance
Jeff,
Dog.
go ahead.
I wanted to comment on what Ophelia said about Green Ghosts.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Because he said,
Yeah, that's actually what I was going to say. Is that I agree with.
yeah, I wouldn't have said nothing. No,
Not
you
a
know who
fucking word.
I would have said? I've been like, damn, yeah. You know, I was that Martian man side piece, and sometimes I'd fuck the fish. Well, I would have said that shit before I would have said, yeah, my husband was fucking Omni Man. He did that shit to you.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah,
Why
I
would you
definitely would have
say
been
that?
like,
Yeah.
I was making fish sticks.
Right?
Or
Do
she
you
could
think
have been
fish sticks are
I
delicious?
like the dark. You know, I was like,
No, yeah, that was a dumb move. I did
was
not
Nightwing.
expect her to actually do that, but I did kind of feel it because, like, dude kind of led her on in a sense. Like, he never expressed this bigotry that he had now for soups. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like, excuse me, if you don't have a real like hatred for superheroes at this point, you understand like superheroes kill niggas. Well, you know, they said it best in state property. Or was it not state property? Niggas die every day. You know what I'm saying? Niggas die every day from my hood.
And the way he was talking about how he was like kept hidden from everybody, I felt like he kind of resented her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because like
No.
if you're the real excuse me, I almost said sibling, but if you're the real spouse of someone who kills people every day,
Yeah.
then you probably know, like, you know what I'm saying, there'd be some tragedy that happens. What about the people? Where's the focus group for the people whose house gets blown up because these motherfuckers were fighting somebody?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like I feel like he was just being like a bigot. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
but I think the reason the reason I think that they did that was because, or the way that they formulated it was because he was black. You know what I'm saying? So they like, that's what cartoons and movies like to do. They like to make the
Is this
the
the
black person
third
a bigot.
fucking bad black character they've made in a row now?
Yeah.
Oh,
God
yeah.
damn, bro. They are just-
Or at least two.
that's-
Who's the third one?
That's
Who's the third one?
equality.
I was gonna
so-
say, yeah.
Angstrom
First
Levy
Amber.
and
Amber, and then the guy at the realty place.
Mm.
yeah.
Oh no,
Amber
well
being
then
that
the
guy.
bat dude.
Oh yeah, and then the Batman.
And then
guy.
Bat.
Yeah.
That's four.
Yeah.
That's four.
That's
then.
four.
You count the whole series.
That's
It's
four.
four.
Every nigga in here is doing something bad.
Problematic.
Except for Bulletproof. Bulletproof is killing it.
Yeah.
But he's still like
So far, I mean, we saw him for like 14 seconds.
Look, Morgan said, yeah, there's definitely two. Well, no, we've doubled that. We've
There's
doubled
five.
that.
There's five because even though I like Bulletproof the most, he's still a bad stereotype.
Yes.
And he's like, yeah, obviously,
They did-
obviously like a
He's
tongue in
like,
cheek-
oh, it's like, look, he's still a thug, but he's a thug with a heart of gold. I was like, still though, you still made him a thug though.
Well, in the comics, it definitely felt very much like he was like a tongue in cheek. It was like, hey, you know how there's always like a black version of your favorite superhero? It's like, well, now we got a black version.
Oh, yeah.
But at least
yeah.
they did it in a way where like he was like, I'm not doing this shit anymore. And then Bulletproof comes around.
Wait, what do you mean?
Isn't that what happened in the comics?
Well, no, I meant like just like as far as like in this far.
Oh yeah.
From what we know now in the
show.
comics and in the show, he's like he has, you know, Mark's old costume. He's called Bulletproof,
Right.
which is very similar to Invincible. It's like
It was actually the name that, well, no, the suit in the season 1. They tried to give him Bulletproof's suit.
right, and he's like, nah, this looks pretty dorky. And
Well-
Bulletproof was like, I'll take it.
And do you remember what the Taylor said?
No, I don't.
Can't blame a guy for trying to sell some unused product.
Hey, man, I'm trying to get
Once
this
you
shit
get
off.
it
Don't
made
nobody
for
want this.
Bulletproof. That's at least the third time he tried to sell that shit.
Right,
At
yeah,
least.
at least.
And much like the black dudes are bad guys, it's the fourth time he tried to get one, and he got it on the fourth one. Look, black people getting fourth. I don't like that. Third place is at least placing.
And then,
This year on the
let's
podium.
add number
there.
6. Let's add 6 because Langston.
Yeah,
Oh,
Angstrom
Big Bad?
Levy.
Let's see
He's-
how stereotypical they're gonna make him. I bet he got like child support or some shit.
And we didn't even
Like-
see Angstrom in the, did we?
Yeah, we didn't see we
no,
didn't get any of the
we didn't
Angstrom
see him.
storyline this
That's
time around, and
some
that's gonna be a slow burn. I feel. But
Can't think of any slow burn songs. gonna sing
I feel
one.
like there's something from the 90s. But there. What did you guys think of the way that the Alan the Alien story wrapped up before we get into the mark of it all? Because he does get his ass whipped.
he took on 3 Viltrumites and got his ass whipped. But I mean, he ain't
He
bitch
took him
out.
on.
He
Yeah.
had, he
alive.
survived that Cora check. If he had heart. If he was getting jumped in, he would have got.
Yeah, he a Viltrumite now. He like this, like yo, cuz. Yo, cuz.
As soon as
Viltrumites,
Optimus
cuz.
Prime said there's like a snake among them, and I was like, "You're probably the snake, bro." Because if I was a snake, the first thing I'd do is tell my top person that I know could take me out and be like, "Hey, bro, I think there's a snitch among us. Start looking for him." Clearly not me, because why would I tell on myself? That's what I would do. I was like, "Yeah, he's bad."
We know
And
the
when he
snitch
came up-
ain't Alan because he
Yeah.
took a whole
He took
eyeball
a-
ass whooping.
Man, they bust that man.
And he's only got the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, only the one.
That's right.
Optimus Prime ends
yeah.
up showing up.
I feel like it was that
Out
way
of
in the comic
nowhere.
too.
Talking about,
It
"Hey, there's a
was, but in the
snitch."
comic, he like was just like there to talk to him. So I think that there may be a little misdirect, little
Mhm.
classic misdirect in the show
Mhm.
where they're like, "Oh yeah, look, this is what's happening. He's a bad
Yeah.
guy," and then he's like, the next episode, he's gonna be like, "I love you, Alan. How I love you, Alan." That's
I
my
do.
first attempt.
I
That's my first
do.
attempt.
I do have like some ideas of where they could be going with this story, just sort of misdirect. I don't feel like Thaddeus is the mole where they kind of like set it up where he's the villain at the end of this episode, but I am interested to see how they're gonna take this story forward, because it is still surprising. Like you said, there's still some changes from the comic book, ways that they can just sort of throw you for a loop, even if you have read all the comics. So, what do you think, Producer V? Like, do you think
Goodbye.
that Thaddeus is like a bad guy for sure, or do you think this is like a misdirect?
Now that you bring it up, now I can see that it being a misdirect happening. Like, but it was weird that it's like he just turned off that ventilator and shit.
Yeah,
but
that don't sound good.
Maybe it was for a different reason. Maybe it was like he knows they're gonna come back after him and kill him again or something.
Mhm.
Maybe he knows he does. I don't know what's happening with the ventilator. We'll see, but it could be a misdirect. But I had a feeling. But honestly, who I also have my suspicions on was his girl. I think his girl might be a traitor too.
Yeah, because like while they're having that
Yeah.
conversation, and then suddenly the Viltrumites show up. It's a little.
Well, you know what I was interested in is that like we have Alan tries to bring the facts that he's met Mark, and we get Battle Beast.
Oh yeah, we get like a battle beast.
Well, no,
like
a relative, like one of the one of
a battle
not Battle
people.
Beast, but yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody from his species was
Battle
there.
buddy.
What the tiger?
battle buddy.
Or Liger.
Battle
They look like
buddy.
Ligers.
Liger,
They do.
tiger,
The
liger people.
The white tiger people.
Yeah,
My favorite
I
animal.
did see that Napoleon Dynamite had a writer's credit in this episode. So.
Yeah, no. no. But yeah, like I can't wait till we get more Battle Beasts, because we got Battle Beasts in the first season for a brief
Mhm.
moment, like egregiously brief moment.
Throck, my guy.
And he plays a huge part in this series, or at least in the comics. Hopefully he'll play just as big of a part.
I mean, he
this
did do the damn
show.
thing. He seemed like money well spent when he showed up.
Right. Worth
Yeah.
every dollar. Yeah.
Right.
Every penny.
And then back on Earth for a little bit before we go back into space, we get back to Mark. He's just in the college life, and he is welcomed by an unexpected visitor, his favorite superhero
And
comic book
his toy.
superhero.
He still has the toy.
Yeah, he just pulled the action figure out of the garbage.
Oh,
Seance Dog.
Mark.
One of my favorite lines from this whole interaction is when Seance Dog is like, well, because Mark is like, you're a comic book character. You're not real, clearly. And he's like, oh, no, there are many multitudes of universes where dogs and magic are as real as you and me.
Right? And I would have
like-
believed him, too.
Mark's
I
like,
would have been like,
we have
all right.
dogs.
It's like, oh, so you have half the knowledge. Like, it was so great. Like,
So
Jeff,
good.
what did you think of just like all of the Seance Dog of it all, and who he turned out to be?
All right. I don't remember if Seance Dog was in the comic, but if it was, I forgot it well enough that when he showed up, I was just like, what the fuck? And I thought it was so great. The way they had his, I forget his roommate's name, but the way they had him respond to it, just curling up under the plate and it's sitting on the floor. It's for you. It was so fun. It hit in such a funny way. And I was just like, man, all right, you got me.
You got me.
Bill, what did you think of this? Like the introduction of Seance Dog. Sorry, and just to answer your question, Jeff. In the comics, it is that they do still have this interaction, but it's a character named Science Dog, and he's more of like a Iron Man-y kind of dog person.
Yeah, there was some kind of like
as opposed to Dr. Strange.
Right. Yeah.
There was some kind of licensing issue, so they had to change it in the TV show.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I thought it was cool only because it ended up not being him.
Right.
Like if that had gone on any longer than it did, I'd have probably turned off the episode. I was like, okay, I was good at Alan Gray.
Yeah.
But that's what this show does to me. You know what I'm saying? Like they get these childish fucking moments, these teeny bopper fucking not another teen movie MTV television show type moments, and then they crank it up into fourth gear.
And it's funny because like they kind of like it's a reference to Doctor Strange, who obviously had this big movie about multiverses and cameos and like who you're gonna see. So it's kind of like a nod to that while also just being what happened in the comic book. But Terry, what did you think of just about this like seance dogginess and like who he turned out to be?
Othelius, that will be explained.
I thought it was how a Nozelzot said, "Oh, we'll be gone for a week," but 10 minutes earlier he said it took him a year to get there. So he didn't say it took him a year to get there. It said that it took him
his life.
It said it took him most of his life. We will explain
life,
that. But I guess it's not like a super. I don't think this is a spoiler to say that these creatures have a very short. They have a very short lifespan. They have like
They're
a
bugs.
6-month lifespan. Yeah. So that's the thing with their life. Until they
Yeah,
perceive life very
kinda-
differently than we do.
Yeah, but I get it. I probably would have questioned that and been like, wait, it only took us a couple weeks to get here, bro. What do you mean you've been? Yeah, I probably would have brought that up. That's a good thing to.
No, it's fair.
Yeah, that didn't make no sense.
Yeah, we got you, Othelius.
I don't know. After watching so many shows with multiverses and knowing previously about Angstrom when he said, "I'm from a different multiverse," I would have been like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." Well, what do you want, Seance Dog? That's apparently real.
Yeah, we talked about how ridiculous Angstrom's Spankstrom's. We already
Spankstrom. Yeah.
We already talked about how
I
it was
was
ridiculous that he
believing,
never even contacted. Like, there's one good Mark and you don't even contact his ass. You're just gonna do things in his universe without talking about it. Like, a lot of this could have already been prevented. But who's your MVP for this episode, Alex?
Oh, my MVP for this episode?
Yeah. He just spilled so much tequila on himself.
Not so much. My MVP for this show is always Steven Yen. His vocal,
hi, Mark.
His vocal performance. Oh, hi, Mark. First of all, he's a fellow Grayson. Jedi Master Grayson. Shout outs.
He's related.
But also,
it's
it's my cousin Mark.
He's your second favorite cousin's favorite cousin.
Indeed, but it's funny. Well, it's not funny. I just couldn't think of what to say because I just took a shot. But
It's not funny.
his performance is always just like so natural. Like he has these like stutters and stops and just interruptions of his own sentences that really makes the performance super just real and just sounds so natural. So yeah, he's always my MVP.
Terry, who's your MVP?
Well, we didn't talk about this. We skipped over it. I'm a Monster Girl.
Monster Girl. No, I'm not done with talking. I just want to get MVPs so that I can figure out more things to talk about. Now, this is the trick.
I liked her little date with Robot and taking him out and being like, "Oh yeah, you were always in this tube. You were a tube man. You don't know anything about living." I forgot. It's like, that was a good one, and he kind of did.
He's a
and it's
water
kind of like,
baby.
oh yeah, like you're trapped in a kid's body, but you were at least an adult and grew up in like a normal type environment. You grew up in the world.
Yeah.
He grew up in a tube.
Him
The
too.
whole time he was in a big tube.
He was like, what's his name from Ninja Turtles? Kang or
he's
Krang?
like Krang.
Krang.
Incredible Krang.
Yeah, he was Krang. That's how his body looked. It was gross.
Yeah. And it's funny that though they're very, very different in the way they grew up, they have like this weird similarity where they're both kids who are way older than
They're
parents.
grown ass adults who are kids.
Yeah. But
we both just said the same thing.
Yeah, we
but
said the exact same thing.
I feel like mine makes more sense.
But yeah, like Jeff, what did you think of just like the relationship between these two and how they like this cute little movie scene?
So I liked it. I thought it was really good. I feel like it was more flushed out, just like that scene, them going on their date or whatever. I feel like that alone was so much more flushed out than the relationship in the comics, which I enjoyed because it's one of those things where it's got to be weird for Monster Girl because she is she was a college student who got cursed, and now every time she uses her power, she de-ages a little bit.
Right.
So it's just got to be so odd for her because while Rudy is intellectually the same age, I mean, like the fact isn't it weird for both of them? You think that like, well, you're intellectually an adult. You still don't look like one. Like, I don't care that I don't look like one either. Like, it's still a little.
No. To me, that's the weird part of it. Like, this whole show is that, right? Like, it's just a fucking weird ass show. Everything in it, excuse me, it's similar to The Boys. And I'm actually interested which, Jeff, you probably going to be able to figure this out before any of us.
Got it.
Which one of them came first? Invincible or The Boys? Because
I think The Boys.
Oh,
look up.
But
I remember like just the first issues of The Boys I was reading, they were doing advertisements for Invincible, being like, I got a new book coming out. It's Invincible. So I want to say The Boys came out first.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Because the reason I said that is because they both have a similar like theme far as like
he was writing them at the same time at one point.
Yeah, it's like we're gonna explore the fucking realism of superheroes.
Invincible came out first by 3 years.
Okay. So
series began publication January 2003. The Boys August 2006.
God damn! You see, I told you he was quick draw McGraw.
I think they definitely both had benefits of getting a second chance of telling these stories. Like I think we all talked about how The Boys show is way better than the comic was. And even though the comic, I loved Invincible comic, they're doing a really great job of condensing some of the redundancies of the comics, some of the comic book moments that feel just like sort of Monster of the Week. It's like, it didn't really mean anything to the overall story. And just getting to the real meat of everything. And speaking of the meat, going back to the seance dog of it all, we find out the seance dog is just meat is not inherently gross. It's just a word. But like the seance dog, he turns out to be a shape-shifted alien. He's trying to get Mark to go to his planet beyond the stars to help him
Beyond
save
the
his civilization from a devastating this machination. He needs his help to save his planet from being destroyed by a meteor shower. But then when they get to the planet a few days later, the homeboy is like he forgot about the meteor shower. He's like, "Oh, meteor shower,
which by the way, Othelius, that's your next hint that they age really quickly because he goes, oh, old age and what is it, delirium? Or
why can't I think of it?
It's
dementia.
I think it started with the dementia.
Yes. Wow.
I just want to say thank you, Samuel.
Hey, what up, Sam?
Yeah, what up? I don't know you, but Alex knows you. And if you're just here for the homies, welcome down, welcome.
Because the homies are here for you.
That's right.
But
I do want to hit on these things that Othelius was talking about real quick, because he was talking about how the issues from the last season, like the first season was a lot of budget issues. A lot of the issues that took place last season were because they literally ran out of money while they were making the first episode. I mean, the first season. So a lot of the animation is like just like, what is it? Well, it looks like cardboard moving across the fucking
there's some
background.
times where like they're definitely trying to like cut back on the pencil mileage. Even in this season, like I was kind of surprised there wasn't like a huge production jump between season 1 and season 2. Because like especially when we're getting the backstory of the Viltrumites, like in the Alan the Alien of it all, I was like, okay, this is a lot of still pictures,
right? Yeah,
and like narrations.
Like, I kind of liked it. That's kind of what I liked about the. I mean, I know that's probably not what the producers are thinking, but I kind of exactly that's how I felt. I felt like, yo, this is comic booky.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it, but
and that alien dude does say when they get to the planet, that the dementia part, he does say we whatever people age quicker than humans.
Okay, he does mention that then. Okay.
Yeah, and also, they do really bad with writing they do really terribly with writing black people.
Yeah, I know what he's doing with them, because I can almost make a whole video of being like, they don't know.
Tell me you don't have black friends without telling me you don't have black friends is basically how this one goes down.
I personally, I always liked the idea that Eggstrom was black, like when I was reading the comics, just because like I like the fact that Invincible's Joker, or no, not even Invincible's Joker, like Invincible's
like
Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul,
he's the guy who can match him physically and mentally.
His Lex Luthor.
And he's a black dude. Like he's just like, and it has nothing to do with his race. He's just like happens to be a black dude. Like I liked that when I was reading the comics. But it is weird that all of the black people on this show are fucking terrible. It's kind of strange. Don't know why that happens.
Strange.
Robert Kirkman, we might have to talk. But then this episode ends.
Sorry.
This episode ends with some daddy issues. Mark gets reintroduced to his father, Omni-Man. Terry, you mentioned that this was a super shocker moment for you. How did you feel about this scene? And how do you think the next episode's gonna go down? Like, what do you think is gonna happen in the next episode?
Bro, I was expecting him to try and punch that man in his chest with all his might. Like, he knows he's probably gonna get beat again, but chest. He looks like he was like, that's why he's wearing that chest piece, because I'm about to punch you in that chest.
So I'm wearing this just in case I see my son again. He's really gonna.
I don't know. I would have been working on some kind of particle beam that could like shoot him with, and I would have had that thing on me, and just in case,
just in case you slip up and run up on this motherfucker.
You got to keep that Thule right near me.
Like it's. I don't know what this is gonna do next. Omni? How long has it been?
They said it's been a few months.
Not even a year.
Yeah, not even a year. So has Omni-Man all of a sudden had a change of heart now? Like, I guess he's been away from the Viltrumite Empire for like 30-ish years or so.
Well,
like,
Terry, remember they called him the Monarch.
The
Monarch!
Yeah, so I was like, how much could he have possibly changed? So what's he gonna do? Is he gonna try and be like, all right, Mark, round 2, come on and join me. See what happens when you take over the planet? Look, see, there's gonna be like that.
These
Like,
ones are
so
weird bugs, dude.
And also, he's only been here probably what is it, like not even a year, and he's already probably lived
that's
through like 4
generations to them.
lifetimes. Yeah, exactly. So he's just been smashing bugs, smashing bug booty. He been clapping bug cheeks. Just so y'all know, little spoiler alert:
booty butt,
booty butt cheeks, booty butt cheeks.
Also, just back to the alien episode. The Viltrumites seemed real mad that Omni-Man might have had a kid. Like,
yes, no, yes, on
Tainting
Earth,
the Viltrumite DNA.
right? I thought they were kind of like cool with it and being like, yeah, this is the best way to like get more Viltrumites. Like, we go to that planet, if they can like breed with us, we make them, and that's how we get kind of stronger. I didn't know they were like only Viltrumites in the Viltrumite, because them niggas was hot when they were like, does he have a fucking son or not? We ain't playing with you, bro. They whooped that ass. They were like, we're not playing with you, man. This is serious.
Oh, hell no. Not bug cheeks. Yes, sir. Getting them bug cheeks. Yes.
We'll get into that next week. But
let me
let's
get
talk
these
about
theories
Morgan
real quick.
A little quote. Yeah, I think Omni-Man knows what's coming, and that Mark is a weakness to the others. He plans to exploit that. Interesting theory. And it's so like what they've been able to do with just like father-son relationships throughout the whole first season. The complexities of just like, oh, I love my dad, but oh, like what if you found out your dad was a member of the KKK and he's been killing black people for years? It's just like, oh, goddamn.
That would be very awkward for me.
I have so many great memories.
That would be very awkward for us because our father is black.
Right, yo, well,
And
yeah. Speaking
I'm
of,
just saying, I'm just not.
our dad.
No, I'm just saying, like, it would be even more fucking,
it's like
fucking crazy.
It's a Clayton Bigsby situation.
Yeah.
Um,
I was just gonna say that.
But yeah, it's kind of crazy the way that they've done all that, and I feel like this show is going to continue, just like that complex relationship of just like loving your dad, but also he's a fucked up individual.
Is it whiteface if I wear a KKK hood?
I think it
like for Halloween. If I wear a KKK,
if you're gonna be Clayton Bigsby, I think that you get away with it.
So yes is your answer. If I'm not, because I wasn't thinking about being Clayton Bigsby. I was just thinking,
if you're not being Clayton Bigsby, then yeah,
it's whiteface.
It's on the white face spectrum, at least. I don't know, guys. Put it in the comments. Is that
seriously? Look, I'm gonna start doing Twitter. I'm gonna start doing Twitter polls because Nine be doing Twitter polls. I'm gonna start doing Twitter polls. Like, is that white face
racist?
Sorry, jumped off a little. So I jumped off the bandwagon a little bit.
But yeah, like I guess some of us do know where the story is gonna go next with the whole Omni-Man Mark situation. So we're not gonna spoil any of that. But I just will say that I'm very excited about what's gonna happen next. Just anybody got any just like final thoughts on this episode? Just like the any favorite moments or anything like that?
Hold on, Morgan. Damn. No. Just no. That's all I get is just no.
Honestly, I don't even remember what that was about. Like, I don't know what he's commenting.
KKK.
The KKK thing. Oh yeah,
there it is.
Warning: marijuana affects the memory. Jeff, what were you? Any final thoughts?
I'm like you. I'm excited for where it's going, but I'm honestly a little surprised we got to this part this quickly. It feels like they skipped over a lot, which I'm not necessarily upset about. I'm just surprised.
Well, I'm gonna have to go and find I made the mistake of getting like this special edition, like hardback cover of a volume 1, like half omnibus type thing, and I can't find the other volumes at all. and I don't want to get the other, start my collection all over again.
Oh,
So
just
Right.
send
now I
us
know.
your address.
Yeah,
Alex.
yeah.
Send me your address. I can I can send you Omnibus 2 and 3, but I let my friend borrow Omnibus 1 and I will never see that again. So like I'm not gonna be able to see that one. But
It could
But
be
you have
worse. I
any
let
final
a friend borrow the entire collection of Lock and Key, and I've not seen that since.
Hold on, was that what's her
I heard
name?
That's good. Wait, who? What?
Who you let? You can tell me.
No, it wasn't a her. No, so
You can tell me later. Yeah.
But
And nigga, give it back, nigga. I know you're watching right now.
It's complicated because we borrowed each other's books. And
No,
I was like,
nigga.
I haven't read his book.
No, nigga, fuck that. Give it back. Shit, goddamn.
But do you have any final thoughts on this episode before we close things out?
I was gonna talk about how what Jeff was talking about when he was saying that. Damn, what did you just say?
I felt like it was missing a lot. I'm surprised we got here this quickly.
Exactly, and I was gonna bring up. Remember the aliens, the time aliens that showed up in season one.
Flaxens.
The Flaxens, yeah. So I think we've sped up so we can get to that either by the end of this season or by the beginning of next season, because that plays such a big role in the rest of what goes down and introducing us to different universes and timelines and the way time works in general. It's a good way to set it up the way they've done it, because television wise, I don't think Viltrum, I don't think the robot and
Monster Girl
works without introducing that there are different universes, different timelines or whatever. You have to introduce that first to kind of get everybody into the mindset of outer, otherworldly, outer earthly, intergalactical, multiversal stuff.
Right.
I ran out of old.
Now I'm gonna have to go to the comic book store tomorrow.
No. Look, if you come back next week, after, I swear you can get through it all in like a couple of days. But if you come back next week, and you're gonna be like, oh shit.
Right, because I wanted to get kind of like ahead of the show and everything.
No,
you can easily.
I really don't feel like it's a spoiler for me when I read a comic book and then see the show. I was like, no, it's gonna be a universe A and a universe B.
No.
And clearly, from the way we're all talking, you can tell that none of this is in order. So even if you've read the comic book, for everybody who's watching, you can literally go read it and not know what the fuck is about to happen in this episode or in this series, because they've
100%.
definitely changed things around a lot. But I feel like they haven't changed.
Especially if we look
enough.
at the boys too. If we compare it to like how they did the boys, that's two fucking different things almost.
Exactly.
And even like with stuff that's very one-to-one, like I knew as soon as Mark's roommate opened the door that Seance Dog was on the other side just from his expression. Like I was like, oh fuck, this is the moment.
Right.
even though it's like you guys said, it's very, very different, because like in the comic books, he's still in high school, I think, and he meets him at home. So like it's a very different situation, and they have the great opportunity of just compressing this storyline where we do get some of the superfluous storylines that don't really mean that much, or just a little bit redundant. And we just kind of get those out of the way so we can get to the meat of it. Because I will say, when I was reading the comic books, I was kind of skipping past most of those storylines anyways. Like, fuck, where's Omni-Man? I want to know what happens next. Like, I was skipping through that shit. So I'm excited that this show is kind of doing the same way.
If you'd have been watching it, catching, like reading the books as they came out, you wouldn't have had that opportunity, because Alex is reading motherfucking, look, the Omni-Man books, if you get the novel, it's like this. It's this thick. So have fun.
Omnibusters don't fuck around.
Also, though, it's a comic book, so this thick is like a script. It's like a fucking 2 hour. It's like a 2.5 hour script.
Yes, it's a lot, and it's all so fucking good. But before we get out of here, producer V, where can the people find you on the interwebs?
Always, you should try and check out my newest Instagram. It's tpensco for T-Pens Colorado, where you can get you some awesome pins. Either my still classic Barbieheimer, still got those,
Here.
or I got some big booty Pokemon you can get.
Big booty hoes.
Go ahead, follow me there on that Instagram. That'll take you to the website. You can get those pins. There's going to be a sale for Black Friday, of course. Gonna have that out, and then we'll be dropping some pins for Christmas.
Fuck yeah, man!
Awesome.
Guys. He's got some fucking
Big booty
awesome
Santa.
pins.
Big booty Santa.
Big booty
Santa.
Santa.
Y'all ain't never seen Santa twerking like this.
Damn, I think our neighbors are still fighting. Anyway, yeah, you guys should
Yo,
definitely check
earlier,
out.
hold on, I want to tell everybody right now. Look, all three of you. I want to tell you who's still listening. Our neighbors, they fight. It's a male and a female.
Yeah, they're itchy and scratchy. Right?
The female
They fight.
suplexed the dude earlier. We heard it. He said, "Ah!" And then boom, we heard boom.
Yeah, and then for some reason, Jim Ross was over there. He's like, "Slobber knocker, slobber knocker."
Yeah.
it was
Foreign object, foreign object.
It was-
Like it was
insane.
crazy. It really got crazy over there. And when I say that she suplexed him, I'm not bullshitting. We heard it. I'm not
Actually
bullshitting.
was. We probably should have called the police. But anyway, Jeff,
Look,
where
if he can't
can
handle
the
his
people-
own in there, we can't do nothing for him.
Jeff, where can the people find you on the interwebs? Now that we've set
Well,
you up with
you can always
domestic
try and
abuse.
Skype me at Don Cheadle's driveway. You can always try and Skype me at Don Cheadle's driveway, littleDicky2.com. It's because of the hackers.
Because of the hackers.
You can try and find Jeff Madel on Facebook. You can try and find Jeff Madel on Facebook, at MadelJeff on Instagram, or you can always find me on Drunk Banthas on Mondays, Nerds at Night, 9 Nerd Yards, but also another set of some amazing T-Pins pins. Get your Atlanta pins too, guys.
Fuck
Okay.
yes. Oh my God, those are so clean. Guys.
Damn, those are hard.
Good happens.
Guys, if you want those wonderful pins, you can buy them. They're actually out there.
They're
for
out
purchase. And if you guys can't remember any of those things, you want to go back and like check the timestamp for when
It's right here.
we were talking
At the
about all
bottom.
that. You guys can. It's all in the video description. It's all easy. Just click and go and buy. But guys, thank you so much for listening to the Drunk Banthas podcast. We do this every Monday live at 8 p.m. Pacific time, and we drop film analysis videos every once in a while. So go ahead and leave a like and subscribe so you can get updates on new videos. Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Twitter, IG, TikTok, likewise, all the internet things at the Drunk Banthas. Stay safe, my little seance dogs.
Yeah. Thank you. I love you. I love you. And I love you. And I love you too. And I love you too. And thank you. And thank you. And thank you. And thank you too. I love all y'all. Thank you to Othelius, Morgan, Sarah, and Sam, and anybody else who was here.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next week.
Lay ya.